everybody, welcome to Travel with T. This is my travel channel. It's all about travel. I love travel. I am a travel advisor. It allows me to not only help people travel, but to see the world myself. And it's a great experience and is a great thing to do. I talk about all types of travel, from cruising to river cruising, to what I refer as a luxury minimalist style of travel. That's traveling in luxury at less cost. My favorite style. And so I feature different destinations, different ideas. So today I decided to talk about, because I have a blog post coming out, so today I decided to talk about Dublin. And we went to Dublin in April. Great time of year. And today my post is basically Dublin in 5 days. We spent right about 5 days there. It was a great trip. Enough time to see and do everything. I happened to get some great flights. I'm in like the southwest, so Durango is my closest airport. It's about, I don't know, an hour away from where I'm at, and it's a small airport, so not a lot out of there. Scott's Cheap Flights, in case you don't know anything about them, it's kind of a subscription service. And because I do a lot of travel, and I do all styles of travel from tours to, like I said, river cruises, Scott's will shoot out some emails with travel opportunities that are available. And he does them basically all week. So you can see him come out Sunday, Monday. It's just when his team discovers some great pricing. Well, flying out of Durango is never cheap. And it is almost always, several $100s more than regular travel. So flying from here, say if I fly to the East Coast, we often go to North Carolina. It's over $400 from here where I'm at. So, but Scott's Cheap Flights, he does everything. So you'll see him everywhere. He is, he'll give you flights out of Charlotte, out of Albuquerque, LAX, Boston. So his design is like under usually $500. So I got an email about 8 months ahead of time that out of Durango prices had dropped. And so I started looking at Ireland, because I hadn't been to Ireland. I managed to book in a flight from Durango with not even layovers or anything. It was pretty much standard, great pricing, first stop, and then you head off. And for under $400 round trip. So I definitely booked that, and totally happy with it. I wouldn't have known about that because I don't have time to sit there checking a gazillion websites for pricing. I just don't. And as a travel advisor and a travel agency, I know that is not a wise use of my time. And I have learned that. And so for places like Scott's, he sends them to you. And I mean, you get a lot of them, so you can pretty much design your trip or have me design it, preferable, and around your flights. Because sometimes that's the biggest expense, is those flights, especially from the US. But Europe has had some great pricing lately. So like I said, in April, we decided to utilize that, and I got a basically 6 days, and fit within a time frame that I needed to fit in, and it worked for my schedule. So I booked it, and then I had to fill in the details. I am the style of traveler who I am not going to want to sit down and relax in Ireland and just enjoy. There's a lot of things I wanted to see and do. Sorry about that. One of them was my ancestry, because I do genealogy. So I wanted to kind of touch down in Dublin and hit a couple of different places. But I only had 5 days. So what we decided to do is I booked one day outside the city, a little bit. When you're traveling, if you book outside the city, it's usually cheaper, but you gotta haul your butt into the city. And then I booked a few days in the city. So we did both. And it was fun. We stayed at a Radisson property in the outskirts, and then we stayed at a Westin because I'm a Marriott member, so I use rewards and I get points. So we used a Westin property, which is SPG, part of the Marriott brand, and we used that for inner city. It was a great location. Oh my gosh, it was like right downtown. You could get to anywhere there. All the attractions and everything that you want to see were available just by walking around and catching. What we used was the red hop on and off bus. Okay, so you can buy a ticket. If you're watching this and you want to support my videos and my blogging and actually help me out, as I give you these tips, you can book the hop on and off through travelwithtoday.com, and I would love to help you out booking that, and or any of the hotels or anything. But we use a red hop on and off, and basically it is a tour that you can do your style, your way. So you hop on and off at different destinations. So we saw like St. Patrick's Cathedral. We saw a couple of the castles. We rode it out to Howarth, which is like a port area. It's an awesome way to go. And like I said, you can hop on, hop off, stay as long as you want, and all of that. We actually stopped at a great little place, Teeling's. And it is actually a whiskey. Oh my gosh, it's a whiskey making facility, and distillery, sorry. And it's the first in Ireland, in Dublin actually, since the fires, and it was like 100 years ago. So their motto is the spirits of Dublin. And oh my gosh, it is so great. If you have a chance, you should pop in there. It's Teeling's, actually. Now, you can always go to Jameson's. That's the big, giant distributor. It's not a distillery there anymore in Dublin. They distill outside in another area. But Teeling's does, and they are the only distillery there for whiskey in Dublin, and they are fantastic. So they'll take you through the tour, through the whole thing, and you'll be able to see that with the hop on and hop off bus. One of the other sites, of course, that you can see, which is a great one on there, is of course St. Patrick's Cathedral. It has everything that you want there to look at, all the old history. It's filled with tons of different things. So, I mean, you could spend hours there. And a lot of history on the area and different people in the area. So it's a great place to stop. Now, not on the on and off, we took a outside tour, and we went to the Cliffs of Moher from Dublin, our base. So it was a little bit of a drive, but you get to stop at different places. It was absolutely fantastic. That was probably one of the highlights of our visits. Okay, so if you check out my blog, I have some pictures on there. But it was amazing. It is one of the most incredibly beautiful, peaceful, even spiritual place that you can imagine, standing there on those cliffs. I can't even begin to describe it. So that's definitely one of the things that I would see. I would see St. Patrick's Cathedral, of course. A couple of the castles that are there in Dublin, Teelings, I would recommend Teelings to see and spend some time in and sample some whiskey because you're in Ireland. We did what was called a pub crawl, but we didn't do your regular booze it all up, nothing wrong with that, pub crawl. We did a pub crawl that was a traditional music pub crawl. So it's focused really, really on the music. Fantastic pub crawl, and we enjoyed it like incredibly. The music was amazing. We ended up, after the whole thing was over, and it's traditional Irish music with all the instruments and everything. We ended up, after the pub crawl, heading out with the musicians to a little out of the way bar and listening to other musicians in the area just kind of all gather around in this circle and just play. It was pretty phenomenal and truly an extraordinary experience to be part of. So that would be another thing I would recommend. If you can contact me and I'll let you know how to sign up for it. But it is a traditional Irish music pub crawl. And so they do go through different bars and you know, you get your drinks or whatever when you're there. And you have the opportunity also, if you wanted to have dinner beforehand, you can do that too as part of that thing. So that's another one I would recommend, because you experience the culture and the people through their music, which is fantastic. Latin Quarter. Get to the Latin Quarter. It's very unique. It's busy. So we ended up eating at one of the restaurants there. It was great. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember which one it was. It was fantastic. We had traditional Irish fare. You will find tons of street musicians there at the Latin Quarter, and the Latin Quarter in Ireland. And it's a great, fun place to visit. So if you have a chance, stop there too. Those are some of the highlights that I recommended from Dublin. Of course, you know, everybody wants to see the Temple Bar area. It's packed with tourists. It's kind of touristy. If you want to go there, we went there just because. Go ahead. But there's so many things to do and see just from Dublin. So if you have any questions or you need any info, it's travelwithttoday.com or travelwitht.net is my blog. I would love to help you. I would love to help you set anything up, or just give me some questions or give me some feedback on how my videos are going. So again, who are you traveling with? Hopefully you're traveling with T. Thanks. Bye, guys.